Priority, Horizon.
Drink along with Dan and John.
Nope. Insanity difficulty walkthrough. Yeah. Well, practically drink along. There's not a lot of strategy to talk about anymore. I believe that this is the last mission that you can do before you're kind of on that end path where you can't really fly around anymore. After this, the next priority mission, it says, are you sure you want to continue? But if you've been doing all the side missions before doing the next priority missions, you really don't have much of a choice anyway. For some reason, those phantoms can block the powers that they throw at you, so it might take 2 or 3 stay psi.
Yeah, that's
correct. Okay, yeah. To get them to freeze in place and then blow them up. I edited out a lot of running through this level because it was kind of dull. We get to meet up with Miranda. Oh, and I killed Ashley, by the way. I just fucking shot her.
Cool.
Yeah. On my second playthrough. On my first playthrough, I did it 100%. Super evil, but still, I didn't shoot my former lovers.
In the vag.
With
semen.
With my cock, is what I meant. Yeah.
So we talked about good versus evil a lot in the previous couple videos.
Mm-hmm.
The only other games that really come to mind are Lionhead Studio games. All have
Fable?
Lots of good and evil, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Starting off with Black and White, the first Lionhead game I played, possibly the first one they made on the PC back in the day.
That is true.
That was all about, are you going to raise an evil creature and be an evil god or be a good god?
And ironically, those choices were much more black and white, good and evil, than they are in this game. Because a lot of times they're somewhat challenging to tell, what... I mean, it's not like in the Old Republic, where sometimes I would make the wrong choice. Another BioWare game, whether I wanted to be Sith or Jedi.
Yeah.
There's a menu setting I had to turn on to make sure that I didn't keep making the wrong choice, which is fucking crazy.
You didn't know which one was the evil one.
Right. Well, so
the Sith one.
In traditional BioWare fashion, I assumed, and it kind of tricked me into thinking that I was correct through the first couple choices, that the down choice was evil and the up choice, the 130 position is good and the 430 is evil.
Yeah.
Right on the little radial dial.
I don't think you need to get into 30s, but yeah.
That's right in the middle. That's right in the middle of the clock.
4:30?
Yeah.
How about 4?
Well, that's pointing a little bit too high.
Anyway.
Well, now I've completely lost my train of thought.
The other crazy thing about Fable 3 is they had the same war assets thing at the end.
In
Fable 3, you had to have X amount of money in the bank for certain ending.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And it pissed people off.
I never played it, but I do remember hearing about that.
It's crazy. I played it the first time through, and it fucking blew my mind. So
that it was that,
at the end of the game, it's you've got a year to get your money in order.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do, you can go run around the world all you want.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come back and you, do that mission, it skips, 30 days. 30 days go by, instantly.
Mm.
And then 60 days go by. And then it's at 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, go ahead, it skips to 365 days and there's no going back. And you didn't realize this was... You're like, oh, shit, I didn't have my shit in order. I was not ready. Fuck you. You can't do this. And there was no prompt,
are you sure you want to continue?
Yeah.
It did that in Fable 2. It made that very clear. When you go away to that weird temple.
It might have made it... I don't think it made it clear because I fell for it,
Uh-huh. No, that sounds right, because I do remember...
That pissed me off.
Hearing on podcasts that, a lot of people had that same... had a problem with how that game
And it was all
up.
about good and evil. The guy would come to you and he'd be like, well, we can either turn the brothel into an orphanage, or we can murder all the orphanages and take all the money from the brothel. And you're like, all right, brothel it is.
Exactly.
Screw those orphans.
All right. Yeah. I don't need more competition.
They were very black and white decisions.
Wait, brothel's evil? What the fuck are you talking about?
Murdering orphans. That's evil.
Well, as a consequence of living in a whorehouse.
Right. Brothels are good for society.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I dare you to argue otherwise.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy how that game worked at the end.
Yeah.
Because you'd get more money if you were evil.
For the quests and stuff?
It was hard. Like, you would have to pretty much do everything in the game and buy every piece of property to be completely good and have enough money.
To get the best ending?
Yeah,
to get the goodest ending, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right, because every decision that you made to get money...
I kind of like
fucked someone over.
I kind of like that.
Like, you had to be evil to have enough money.
Because...
Unless you worked your ass off.
Because that makes it difficult to be really good.
Yeah.
It's not just... if you
go out of your way to be good.
Right. Like, it's not just...
but the way they handled that time shit really was poorly done.
Another thing that I think would be really interesting to see how a game developer could pull off would be... every game where there's good and evil... The first decision you make is the only decision you're going to be making for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you choose... Like, on that first critical decision...
Medium's never good. Medium never is a cool...
And fluctuating between good and evil.
Yeah, it's never cool.
Never good.
It doesn't benefit you as a game player.
No, it hinders your experience because you're not getting the most monies, or you're not getting the most... Yeah, it is absolutely min-maxing. But I can't think of any games where...
Where middle is good choice?
Where middle is
a thing?
A possibility. Like, if you went middle in this, I guess you could pull it off in this because of how their system works. And, yeah, you probably could pull that off in this, but they don't have a lot of perks for good or evil like there were in the last two Mass Effects, regardless. Huh. Yeah, well, it's the end of that level. Game on.